about business, finance, economics, and market on the Small Business Show with Johannes Balogun.
In this year of 2023, research has shown that one of the challenges faced by small businesses is that small businesses are struggling to adapt to the new world of digital marketing. And Broad Media has released its 2023 Digital Marketing Report, which provides great insights into the most effective ways to advertise in South Africa. And today we are joined by Kutullo Mogale. He holds a BCom in marketing with marketing as major and has worked with several businesses introducing them into the new world of digital marketing. Kutullo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother, for having me.
It's a pleasure. Kutullo, when we first talked, you said that when you started your dropshipping business, it's when you learned a lot about marketing and you fell in love with it. And also putting it into factor that you were doing BCom in marketing. And so perhaps we may take it from there. How and when did you develop the interest in digital marketing?
Yes, like you already mentioned. Initially, I was just a student, BCom, and I majored in marketing. And I had also majored in marketing because from a young age, I had already realized that for any business to thrive, except, your government-based kind of businesses, you do need marketing because that's the only way you communicate your product or service to your consumers and potential clients and such. And so hence I went and started BCom marketing. And hence when I was at varsity, while I was still studying, you know how it is, students struggle, so you get driven towards exploring other avenues to make some additional income outside of your allowance. And so as I was doing my research, I stumbled upon dropshipping. And then I had my first website. I was selling footballing clothes, like your tracksuits, your football shirts, and such. And the whole idea behind this dropshipping is that you sell products that you don't actually physically have in stock. So when someone orders something on the website, I then go and place that same order by my supplier, and I keep the market markup as my profit. And so that's how I realized that for me to even get people to be ordering on my website, I need to be advertising on Instagram, and there's a specific way you should advertise to appeal to your target market. And so I fell in love with the whole process right there. It was quite interesting, knowing that, okay, I need to use football pages because people who are likely to buy football jerseys will follow, a page that goes football memes and such. And also, not only those ones, you go and look who liked the actual post. So they're interested because some people just follow. So those that also engage, those that are actually in the comment section, it shows that they have a high level of passion for the sport, and therefore they are highly more likely to actually buy my products. And so forth, you advertise to those people, and you save a whole lot of money. What I loved about it is it was more effective. Like, for example, advertising on television. Everybody watches TV. Your target market, including your non-target market, including it's just casting a wide net, and only percentage-wise, maybe 10-15% of the people who actually watch the ad are people that are even interested in your product, and out of the 10-15%, maybe 3-4 are actually people that are capable of even purchasing your services or your product.
And from what you're saying, it's quite interesting. I didn't know much about dropshipping business, but the way in which you are explaining it, that dropshipping is about selling a product that you currently don't have at the moment. It's a people have to order, then you purchase that product and you deliver it. It's the whole model of it. It's quite interesting.
Yes, it was more of a basis of, remember, I didn't have a lot of startup capital. Matter of fact, all I had was my allowance at my disposal, of which it was around that time, I was 2.5. Yes, my allowance was 2.5. And so, I just asked my father for like 1,000 rand so that I can pay for web hosting and so forth. And in terms of all other things, I did myself. That's another thing of, like, when you're a startup, you are forced to know a lot of things because you can't afford to pay people to do stuff. And that's how everything was triggered, is that everything I was doing myself. I was advertising for myself. I was coding the website for myself. I was designing the website for myself. I was designing my own ads. And so through that whole process, I fell in love with the process ultimately. And then I just fell in love with marketing as a whole. I decided that, you know what, I actually love the advertising side more than, the actual buying, selling, the coding of websites. And I still do it for certain clients if maybe their needs are not so hectic. They just need a simple website just for a business profile that I can do. And the more interactive websites, I outsource to better coders and such. But yes, the whole dropshipping model is based on, you want to be in business, but you don't have the capacity to buy stock and sell the physical stock, right? And it's also new age in the sense that a lot of businesses offer services and so forth without actually physically owning certain assets. Like, I'll give you an example with Uber, right?
Yeah.
Uber is a transporting service. They have the app. All the drivers come with their own cars. It limits a lot of risk on their end. It's low cost and it maximizes their profitability and so forth. A lot of business models are developing that thing. And so dropshipping was one of those things, like the early business models when online stores became a thing. And so you have suppliers who supply for dropshipping stores. They even aware. So I can even ask them to brand the packaging in my store name or brand name, just so that when the client gets the product, they are under the impression that this is from me. Whereas I just basically, it's like you're a middleman in a sense, because you connect the supplier with the buyer. The supplier does not mind, because either way, it's their products that are being shipped out. You understand? However, the way I choose to advertise their product, that's on me. I advertise it however, I sell it for whatever price. You understand? So that's how it would work. And obviously, because you're buying from the supplier straight, it's a lot cheaper. So you find the supplier sells a Man United shirt for $500. But you go to Total Sports and you get it for 1,000, 1 point something. So for me as an online store, I would sell it for perhaps 950, 800, and then I'd add additional shipping costs or even say free shipping, knowing that within that 800, 100 rand already goes to the shipping, and I still have that 200, 300 profit margin, depending on the product, of course. And so my only cost is advertising, and then secondly, web hosting, which I was paying like 250 per month. So I knew that 3-4 clients covers all my expenses, and then whatever else is left is profit.
And so the way you talk about the model of dropshipping business, it has a lot to do with trust, because someone has to pay and then you order and then you deliver the product once it's been delivered to you as a middleman. So how important is trust when we come to the dropshipping business model?
It's ultimately one of the reasons why I had to stop, because I was essentially one of the pioneers of like online shopping in South Africa, because at the time there was only one other store or two, and they were already big. I just forgot the name. It was on the top of my head right now. But typically, where people buy shoes, there is a Superbalist. Yes, there was Superbalist and one other one only. and those majored in your typical retail clothes, and I took the niche sports clothing. And so people were not trusting to put their card details on the website. They were not trusting to, will they get their products? And there's not that much assurance you can give them ultimately. And so that became an issue. And then I decided, you know what, maybe because I've seen, based on the responses and the orders people would give, this is the most in-demand products. And so I thought to myself, no, maybe let me pause, and then at a later stage when I have capital, I can order those particular products in bulk, sell them myself, and then do it more like like how back in the days you'd order Japanese pizza before you Uber Eats and such. You'd order Japanese pizza, they'll bring it a scooter, and then you pay when you get your pizza. I would buy trust that way. I'd buy trust by developing that model, get a bike, and then deliver myself, and then they can pay. It's really so like to make the services even better for an online thing is that if say you ordered a medium shirt, right, we'll bring you a large and a small as well, and then you'd fit before paying, and then obviously you take the one that fits you best, and then you take those ones and take it back to the warehouse. And so that was the idea behind, okay, I'll buy trust this way. After getting enough clients where they can actually pay on delivery, then I can even stop the paying on delivery at some point and just strictly keep it at paying on the website, because now I've built a brand image that's repeatable enough that people can trust to put their details on the website.
Okay. Now I understand. And so just at the beginning, you talked more about the importance of marketing in a business, of which marketing is one of the most important element or aspect of actually running a business. And so when we talk about that, I think most entrepreneurs might not really understand the term digital marketing. And so what is digital marketing, and what is your take on the rise of digital marketing?
Okay, digital marketing essentially is the process of either posting an image for your business online or advertising your services or your product online, right? And of which you do it digitally. It essentially is just marketing, but online or in an online space.
Okay. And so, I was actually reading the 2023 digital marketing report that was published by Broad Media. And so it was so fascinating to actually realize how digital marketing is now taking over the traditional way of doing marketing, because we know of the traditional way of doing marketing, which is doing the flyers, the banners, the word of mouth and all that. And so when I was actually reading the report, I realized that, digital marketing is really taking over actually the from the traditional way or the old way of doing business. And let me pull out the report and read the stats here. It says that which form of online advertising do you trust the most? It was actually the question that was posed by Broad Media to understand how people go about finding information about the products that they want, which of the social media platforms that they use. And so here it says that 67% of people are looking at online articles, and 34% is Google search adverts, and 33% is online newsletters. 33% is email newsletters, and 31% is videos, and 31% is social media company posts, and 29% is company blog posts, and 16% is social media influencer posts, and 9% is banners. And so another part here, it says, if you want to buy a new product or service for your business, which options do you trust most? And here it came again, and it pulled out that 85% said online articles and reviews. This question was, which marketing channels do you use to find information? 85% is online articles and reviews, of which, for myself, when I am looking for information, the number one channel or the number one source of information, for me, it's online news article. Number two, it's YouTube. And it's fascinating at how this report, it's also putting YouTube videos at 57%, Google search advert at 53%, social media advert at 51%, email newsletter at 39%, newspaper and magazine at 32%, online webinars and conferences at 25%, radio adverts at 25%, TV adverts at 25%, also billboards at 19%, online banners at 17%. So what's fascinating to me when I looked at this report was that online news articles, YouTube videos, Google search, social media, in newspaper, email newsletters, it has taken over. It has now put billboards and TV at the bottom of at the bottom of doing advertising. So it really shows how actually the digital marketing is now taking over, and that's why I was asking, what's your take on it?
Okay, yes. Because I just remembered that you'd asked that question, and I didn't get to answer it. Right. So remember, there is what we call the age of the internet, right? It changed a lot in terms of consumer behavior, right? And therefore, since consumer behavior has changed, even our way of living has changed. The way we go about things is different. You understand? Whereas in the past, right, mass marketing worked because if you have a billboard, you just know the general population sees that billboard, so forth. The general population watches TV at these times and so forth. However, there was no internet at the time, so your newspapers and whatever were where people got their information. TV was where people got their information. However, ever since the age of the internet, right, people spend a lot more time on their cell phones, right? And we go to our cell phones for everything, be it entertainment, be it learning, be it trying to find information about something, right? And that explains why there's been such a rise in the effectiveness of digital marketing, is that you now know that you find people directly at their cell phones, because everyone typically has the app YouTube on their phone. If they don't have YouTube, they have TikTok. If they don't have TikTok, they have Instagram. If they don't have Instagram, they have Twitter, right? And one thing that everyone has is Google, right?
Yes.
Google is actually one of several search engines, right? However, it has become so popular that when you refer to searching for information on the internet, we say you Google it, right? Whereas Google is just a search engine. There is no such thing as Googling, but we have read the term because it now refers to the action of looking for information on the internet. We have now summarized it as Googling. You understand?
Yeah.
To an extent where if you are new in an area and you're looking for literally anything, you want a restaurant, you'll search on Google, you'll say restaurants near me, and Google will bring out restaurants near you. And that now drives traffic towards those particular restaurants. It's more direct marketing as opposed to, your mass marketing traditional method where you spend large sums of money and, your turnover is a lot less. You understand? Whereas with social media marketing, you market directly to your target market, and hence the rise, because brands have also seen the effectiveness of it. Companies have also seen the effectiveness of it. It's so much so that if you are in a certain industry and you don't have a website or you don't have an online presence of any kind, right? You lose so many customers in terms of those people who are searching for your services, right? Because sometimes you get a client because you advertise to them. However, sometimes a certain particular person could be your target market and they're searching for your services. And the first place they go is online. They're not going to read a newspaper. They're not going to wait for a TV ad. They're going to go straight to Google and search whatever services. And if you don't appear, your competition gets all those clients and you lose out on business.
Yeah,
I think really the change in consumer behavior, the introduction of the internet changed a lot of things in the way we live as human beings in general. You understand? People don't climb taxis as often. They request an Uber. That's just an example. People don't call restaurants to make orders. They do what? They go on Uber Eats. And if your restaurant is not on Uber Eats, you're losing out on business. You understand? So the competition in general are picking up that, if I avail myself like this and so forth, and if you don't do that, you lose out on all those business and your competitors get stronger and stronger and stronger. And hence the change and the growth in digital marketing is that companies have realized how much money they are losing by not engaging in digital marketing.
Yeah, and you're actually right, because one of the things that I also noticed when I was actually going through this report, it showed that which social media channel do you use mostly? I mean, do you use daily? And 79% was Facebook, 64% was YouTube, 49% was Instagram, 41% was LinkedIn, 33% was Twitter, 30% was online forum, 25% was TikTok, 17% was Pinterest, 12% was Reddit, and 4% was Snapchat. And so it really shows how we have, how as consumers, we have evolved to the new world of digital marketing, because of most of the time right now, if someone texts me, "Hi Johannes, my name is XYZ, I'm doing this, the first thing that I'll do for me after reading that text or after that phone call is just to go to social media, go to Facebook, go to TikTok, go to YouTube, go to Instagram, go to Twitter to find the online presence of that person. So I think social media has, the new world of digital marketing has made it easier for us as consumers and as entrepreneurs to actually establish our presence in the social media space or in the online space, so that yes, it might be simple for consumers to interact with businesses, and also for consumers to find a very convenient way of interacting with businesses. Because I was actually on one of the classes of business analysts, and so they were talking about COVID-19, how the business, how entrepreneurs conduct businesses literally shifted because of most of restaurant, like you said. Right now, when people are looking for food, they just Uber Eats. Uber Eats is one of the things. Right now, when someone wants pizza, they just order online on a Debonair's Pizza application. And so it gets delivered. So it tells a lot about how the world has shifted. And so I think a lot of small businesses might be struggling into that element. And so I think perhaps you might step into it. And you are engaging with small businesses. And I just wanted to know that as you engage with small businesses trying to introduce digital marketing, what is it that seems to be a challenge with small businesses adapting to this digital marketing?
I think it's the lack of knowledge, in my experience. For the most part of it is the lack of knowledge, and it diverges into many parts, right? The biggest thing that the internet brought about in the world at large, right, is convenience, right? Consumers are much more lazier now than ever, and so as your business, the more convenience you bring to your consumers or your clients or your target market, the better it is for your business, right? So now the biggest issue with small businesses is that a lot of them are under the assumption that it it's expensive to advertise online. When truly speaking, it really isn't, because there's a vast number of ways you can go about it, right? Is that as a small business, for example, your typical strategy, I would say, that I give to small businesses that don't really have the budget to maybe pay an influencer to speak about them, or to maybe pay for ads. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you can do is just engage on posts where you'll find your target audience. Let's say you were offering, okay, I'll use law as an example, because I started with my dad's company in the law firm, for example. Is that online there's always incidents that happen, like a video may trend of a police abusing, a civilian, or someone being mistreated, and so forth. If you engage with that post by giving a piece of small legal advice, in the comment section, right? Everyone that interacts with that post sees your company name. They see your company profile now because you do what, you engaged with a certain post, and you actually give insight and useful information to the people. Now, the next time they have a question, and if you do that frequently enough, they get used to seeing that brand name. So you're getting brand recognition as well, and you're building trust at the same time. And so when that person needs legal advice, they're so used to getting those free little bits of free tips and, insight from you, that they are more likely to be drawn towards using you for their services, in terms of, I don't know, maybe they want a will, or maybe they just want a legal membership, or maybe, they're going for court battle for like maternity something, with these like paying for, what do you call this? When you're a father and you have to pay
the maintenance fee.
The maintenance, yes, the maintenance, and those are very popular, for example, amongst black families. Fathers gone missing and such and such and such. I'm just giving an example with like a particular campaign I had been working on recently, such things. And so, let's say you're actually selling products as a small business, right? If you get an upcoming influencer, you have to have the ability to have the vision, and that's where maybe someone like me comes in, right? I can spot that this influencer, I can predict that in the next, 3 to 4 months, they will actually have this X amount of followers. Maybe right now they are currently on 5, 6, they are still on the rise. If you engage that person does not have many brands approaching them, right? You have to approach them, you give them free products, you give them whatever. It's almost cost-free advertising, you understand? It's similar to back in the day, they'll put up a gazebo and just showcase their products and such, except even then you are paying those people to be there, even though the fee is very small. And so with influencers, you have a bunch of influencers, you give them free products and they just mention and talk about your product. It costs you nothing, almost, except the free products.
Yeah.
You would use those products regardless, because in your inventory, those products, you'll probably label them under samples, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a form of sampling, right? Is that you give upcoming influencers, and now you build a relationship with them. And when they get bigger, you'll get a lot better deals. It'll cost you a lot less for them to advertise those same products, because why? You started working with them before they were recognized by big brands. So that's the insight and vision that I give to my small upcoming clients, is that there's a way in which you approach everything, and it is less costly for you, yet it is very effective.
Yeah, and I think okay, you can carry on.
Yeah, one other problem that they have is that they don't understand that with advertising in general, or marketing in general, it's a work in progress, you understand? You don't just wake up and think because you paid for an ad and you expect tens and thousands of people to come your way. No, the more they see your brand, the more they recognize it, the more they interact with it, or the more your brand interacts with them, right? Then you start building a solid client base. You understand? So it takes roughly 3 to 6 months or so. However, once you are established and you are well known, it starts growing a lot more rapidly. But the beginning phase, it usually takes some time.
Okay.
So that contributes to maybe some of them not believing in its effectiveness, because they put out 2-3 ads and they didn't get interactions, they get few likes and they're like, this thing is not working. Whereas it's the consistency that makes it effective.
Yeah, and I think I share the same sentiment with you that these days with digital marketing, the cost of advertising with digital marketing, it's less than the cost of the old or the traditional way of advertising. Because back in the days when you want to advertise your products or your new products as a new business in the market, it would cost you a lot. You have to do banners, you have to do posters, you have to do flyers. You have to do some sort of like a promotional event that will cost you a lot. And right now with digital marketing, it costs you less because, as you mentioned, you can find one of the social media influencers, give them a product. They can mention your product wherever they go. They can wear it, they can demonstrate it. And it can even cost you less than 3,000, of which the old traditional way of doing a promotion, an offline promotion away from the away from the social media, it will cost you. We can even go to an amount of 10,000 rand. So right now, it is much inexpensive to actually advertise with digital marketing, because of even if we go to the radio part of advertising with radio, it's much expensive because of their charging pay. How many seconds? Is it 15 seconds? Is it 20 seconds or 30 seconds? How many days would you like to advertise a product? And on which show exactly would you like to advertise a product? So with digital marketing, I find it very simple, very efficient and effective and inexpensive. And I think perhaps we might go to the next question of saying that, you are in this space and let's try to educate entrepreneurs who are struggling to survive. And so how do you go about helping entrepreneurs to get their business into the world of digital marketing so that their business can excel?
For one, is that just invest in having a clean page on social media and have a presence on all social media platforms. People are forever on social media, and therefore you'll be able to advertise your products to those people on social media platforms. And if you're doing it yourself, it will literally cost you nothing. So that's for starters. And maybe if you have a big and a budget, you can delve into maybe having a website and such. I wouldn't say email marketing per se, because I feel like that's a lot more effective in other countries as opposed to South Africa, right? In South Africa, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, those are a lot more like effective, right? So just having an online presence yourself, posting content that is clean, it can be whatever it is that you're trying to advertise, and being consistent at it. Because the more consistent you are, even the social media algorithm starts recommending your page to people. Like, let's say you as Johannes search something like running shoes on your Instagram, like search tab, right? What would then happen is that you will start randomly seeing running shoes pages or adverts on your feed, or if you go to the explore page, you'll start seeing such things. And hence, it's important for a young upcoming business or struggling business to just have that online presence, is that some of the work the social media platform does on your behalf. For as long as you are posting consistently and you are engaging, by engaging, I mean, you like maybe some page they're talking about like comparing two shoes. I'm using someone that sells shoes as a example, right? Is that if there's a page where they're saying which you prefer, high tops, low tops, you understand? You can just comment that, high tops are more convenient for such an occasion, low tops are more convenient. Now people are seeing your brand page, one. Secondly, you are engaging in like other people's posts, and thirdly, you are posting, right? What this does is that the algorithm will put your page in the faces of those who are interested in your product. That's what makes social media that much more effective, is that they do it on your behalf. Social media is constantly trying to engage people who like certain content with people who offer that content. You understand? And so the job is done for you. Your job is to stay consistent in the posting, stay consistent in the engaging. And like that, your page grows, your engagement grows, your leads like increase and such. So in a nutshell, I'd say just start there. And then as you go, you also start discovering things. So in a nutshell, I would say just having an online presence, it literally costs you nothing to open a social media page. Not
Okay.
on YouTube. Yes, like just the typical socials that you use for yourself for entertainment. Um, Social media is actually more based for business, because remember, at some point as a business, this is why social media helps you. At some point as a business, you're gonna have to pay for ads, on those social media platforms, and that's where they make money. And so they will help you. So you reach a point where you can now start paying them. So yes.
Okay, and I think you've made it clear. First and first, just to wrap it up, first start by having a social media platform, be consistent, and start looking at doing a paid advert on social media.
Yeah.
And I think that one. It's very cheap because it starts from as little as 50 rand and 100 rand, depending on your reach.
It's very, very, very cheap, and you will reach at least a minimum of 3,000 people. And so if you keep running it and keep running it and keep running it, your needs will eventually increase, because the more people see your ads, the more people see, also certain websites, when you see the same ad over and over again, and it is something that you're somewhat interested in, eventually you click on the website and you go and see what their page has to offer. Yes.
Okay, Kutullo, it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. And so, just in closure, if people want to get in touch with you, to get your services and to consult with you also, how can people get in touch with you?
One, you can find me on LinkedIn as Kutullo Mogale. You can email me at kutullomogale@gmail.com, or you can hit me with a WhatsApp on my phone number, which is 079-114-5659. That is 079-114-5659. Those are my main places where you can reach me in terms of business. Yes.
Well, Kutullo, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.